Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from rolexpreneur, who says, I, 24 male, caught my sister, 26 female, trying to steal a watch of mine, and now my mother, 51 female, wants me to apologize to her. So last night I had some people over to celebrate moving into my new place. I had some family and friends, including my sister and my mother. When I was growing up with my sister, she would often steal from myself and other family members. Money from my mum's purse or dad's wallet. She'd sneak into my room and take things, steal money from our grandparents, etc. We aren't very close because of this, and I always try to keep an eye on her when she's around. Despite this, I decided to invite my sister over because she doesn't live too far away, and I know my mum would be upset if I didn't. I put all my watches and valuables in my safe, but I left out the watch I had planned on wearing that night, but ended up not wearing it and leaving it on my dresser. At one point during the party, sister asked me where the bathroom was, and I pointed down the hallway and told her the bathroom was on the left. A couple of minutes later, I went to grab something from my room and saw her come out of my room as I was walking down the hall. She gave me this startled, deer in the headlights look and said she was looking for the bathroom and walked away really quickly. I immediately got worried and went to do a quick look around my room. I immediately noticed the watch was missing from on top of my dresser. This isn't some cheap $20 watch. I paid over $30,000 for it earlier this year. I left my room and went straight to my sister to confront her. I pulled her off to the side so it wouldn't cause a scene, and told her that I knew she took my watch, and if she gave it back right then, I wouldn't call the cops. She got extremely defensive and started yelling about how she didn't take shit from me, how I'm an asshole, etc. At this point, a lot of people were staring and listening to us. She told me she was leaving and started heading towards the door. I knew if she left, I might never see my watch again. So I grabbed her purse from her and dumped everything on the ground. Sure enough, there is my watch right there on the ground with the rest of the stuff from her purse. My sister screamed at me and called me a fucking arsehole and scooped up most of her stuff and ran out of my place. My mum followed her out and ended up not returning to the party. So after an awkward rest of the party, I got a call from my mum. She was mad at me. I got some long lecture about how I didn't need to humiliate my sister in front of everyone at the party. How she couldn't help herself and that my sister is crying and upset now because of the scene I caused. She also got mad at me for going through my sister's purse and told me that I should never look in a lady's purse, and it was a complete invasion of privacy. First of all, I tried to pull my sister off to the side. She was the one who started yelling at me and causing a scene that made everyone look over at her. I also wouldn't have had to go through her purse if she didn't steal from me, and deny it and try to leave. I'm not just going to risk losing $30,000 watch because I shouldn't look through a lady's purse. So now my mum wants me to not only apologize to my sister, but to tell all the guests that were there that it was a big misunderstanding and my sister didn't take anything. I'm really not sure what I should do about my mum. There is no way I'm going to apologize to my sister. She should be the one apologizing to me. And I'm certainly not going to lie to my guests to get my sister out of an awkward mess she created for herself. I also don't know what to do about my sister. At this point, I'm pretty much done with her. I think she should be the one apologizing, but I doubt she will ever do that. Thanks in advance for any advice. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be apologizing to this person at all. This person's a thief, stealing from you, her brother, in his own house. Now, obviously, we always like to say always press charges, but of course, I know that's not always easy and sometimes can be a pain in the ass for yourself as well. But I think at the bare minimum, these two people don't ever come into your house again. I really don't understand the mum's logic in this one though, sort of enabling her to keep stealing and getting away with it. This person's 26 years old. But the Great Avocado says, say, Mum, sister was about to steal $30,000 from me. That is not some small thing. I would have sent her to jail for that because any sister that would so callously just steal from me is no sister of mine. By asking me to apologize to her, you're enabling her behavior and making it seem like she got a pass. You need to understand that I don't owe her anything. She is the one that needs to apologize. I love you, but I'm not bending on this, and I will end any future conversations about this by leaving or hanging up. Sister does not deserve sympathy for being embarrassed. She's lucky I'm not reporting this to the police. A deleted user says if you want to be snarky, you could point out it had been even more embarrassing for your sister to have been arrested. Honestly, I didn't have good advice for handling your mum. As far as your sister goes, it's time for the kid gloves to come off. If she steals from you again, treat her like the thief she is and call the cops. Edit, don't bother lying to the guests. That'd be enabling. Doughchild says, sounds like both your mum and sister are banned from your house from now on. Your sister can steal your mum's things all she wants. She doesn't get to steal yours. If you have other valuables in the house, you should look around. Things like a checkbook can hide in a back pocket. Cord Sniper says she would get an apology over my dead body. Never, ever, ever. It serves her right to be publicly humiliated. I won't let her back in my house again, and I would tell my mum to piss up a rope if she's going to defend your sister. No wonder she constantly steals. Your mum feeds into it being acceptable. Piss up a rope. And one more comment from Bears, who says the worst thing about pathological thieves and liars is that they almost never own up to their crimes or lies. Even when confronted with damning evidence, they still don't admit shit. You can't change a person who doesn't want to be changed, and who is so surrounded by delusions that they themselves start to believe it. If she can't admit she has a problem, it's going to burn more bridges for her. Not that mum would take the advice so kindly, but OP should suggest counselling or something. I mean, who the fuck does that? OP's first update says, I invited my mum to lunch so that we could discuss what happened at the party and where to go from there. I explained to her that my sister stole a very expensive watch from me. It wasn't just some trinket, and it shouldn't matter even if it was. I tried to pull her away and confront her in private, but she chose to yell and curse at me and cause a scene. I also told her that I understand it is never okay to look in someone's private purse or bag, but that sort of etiquette goes out the window when tens of thousands of dollars of my stolen property is in her purse. My mum then went on a long rant about how we are family, and that her and my sister believe that a family should share in each other's success. She told me that my sister was just upset because I was hoarding all of my money for myself. That is understandable what she did. Say what? She said that I would never have gotten where I am today without all the work she put into raising me and the influence her and my sister had on my life. Then she went on to tell me that I owe it to her to evenly share my success with her and my sister, since we are family, and they would certainly do the same in my position. That's a laugh. At this point, I'm pretty dumbfounded. Not only because she thinks my sister's actions were somehow justified, but because she credits herself to my success and thinks it's selfish of me not to share with her and my sister. And don't even get me started on her trying to act like her and my sister would do the same. I know for a fact my sister wouldn't give me a dime if I were 10 cents short for a heart transplant. And my mum still owes me tens of thousands of dollars that she borrowed and swore she would pay back. I didn't expect it back and wrote it off as soon as I gave it to her. I just can't even fathom how my mum could actually think like that. At that point I was so furious and didn't want to say anything I'd regret, so I got up and walked out. Oh yeah, I also got a text half an hour later saying that I owed her money for lunch since I was the one who invited her, despite the fact that neither of us had even ordered before I left. As far as my sister goes, I haven't contacted her and she hasn't contacted me. At this point I'm just done with her in my life. I don't know if I should do the same for my mother though. I'd hate to not have a relationship with her, but I just can't believe how she could possibly think those things. Would love some advice on what to do as far as my relationship with my mother goes. Thanks. Edit, small update I thought I'd post. She called me but I didn't want to talk, so I let it go to voicemail. She left a voicemail telling me to check my email. Here is her email. First of all, it was very rude of you to walk out on me at the cafe. I was humiliated. You should know better than to treat your mother like that. As I said in the text, you owe me money for lunch since you were the one who invited me, so please bring $60 to give me at Craig's barbecue. It is a shame that I even need to be telling you this. I know I raised you better than that, but you really need to start supporting this family. We are all one, and the success of any individual needs to be spread around the family. Your sister works as a pastry chef and is always more than happy to bake for everyone and bring us treats from work. I wish you would do the same. You can start out by helping me with the new apartment I'm moving to. The rent is $4,250 per month, not including utilities. I'm planning on moving in around the 1st of September, so that gives you plenty of time to set up some sort of monthly bank transfer. I'm going to need $8,500 in about 2 weeks for the first and last month's rent. I'll also need you to come over a few times this month to help me move my stuff there. Bring the bigger truck, unless that's the manual because Todd doesn't know how to drive stick. As a thanks for moving my things over there, I will cover the security deposit myself, so you don't need to worry about it. And you still haven't apologized to sister's name, so please get that done this week. It will take 5 minutes tops, so just get it done. It was wrong to humiliate her like that, and guess who had to be the one comforting her? Me, like usual. Text me to confirm that you got everything and let me know how soon you can bring the big truck over. Then OP says, I should also mention that I currently pay for her rent. After some long guilt trip about how she gave me free food and housing for 18 years, so it's time for me to repay the favor. I can clearly see how that was a big mistake. Now she just assumes I'm going to pay her rent at some huge place that costs twice as much and that she doesn't need. At this point, I'm done giving her any support. She clearly has no appreciation for it. That's just a taste of how my mum acts. She's extremely entitled and expects everything in life to be given to her. Edit, another update. So I just sent my mum an email letting her know I will not be giving her any more money. And here's the gist of it. I will not be paying the rent for the new, more expensive apartment you want to move in. Not only will I not be paying for that, but I won't be paying your rent for any apartment anymore. You'll have to do that yourself. In addition to that, I will not be giving you any money whatsoever. You have shown that you have no respect for me or the work it takes to earn money, and I cannot continue to pay for things you don't need. I know this means cutting back a bit, but there is no reason for you to be living outside your means, and I won't subsidize your expensive lifestyle. I wrote it all out completely different, but that's the gist of what I told her. So just waiting for the freakout, I'm sure, is going to happen. Update 2. After going through all the comments, thanks for the advice, I decided to send my mother an email letting her know that I will absolutely not be paying for the new place she made plans to move to, and that I will stop paying her rent altogether. I told her that she clearly does not respect me or the work I put in order for me to be in a position to give her the money that I do. I also told her that I would not be financially supporting her in any way. A few hours after I sent the email, my phone starts blowing up, calls over and over again. I still really didn't want to talk to her, so I ignored them all. A little while later, I get a call from my friend Dave, except when I answer the phone, it's my mum. I found out later from Dave that she showed up at the bike shop he works at and made up some story about her locking her purse with her phone and keys in the car, needing to call me for a ride. She immediately goes off on me about how ungrateful I am, that she's disgusted by the email I sent, etc. She told me that it's my duty to make sure she is well cared for and comfortable, and she is the reason I'm here in the first place. The worst part was when she told me that if she knew I was going to end up this way, that she would have put her life on hold for the last 2 decades in order to have me, and that I cost her job and my dad a bunch of their life plans. I couldn't even get a word in with her yelling. The last thing she said was something along the lines of, you need to have a come to Jesus moment and realize how much you are hurting your mother. I've already packed up most of my stuff and have spent a ton of time setting this move up. I expect the $8,500 before the weekend is over in a cashier's check, so let me know when you have it. And then she hung up. I don't think I've ever been so mad in my entire life. She pretty much just told me that I need to make up for everything she missed out on in order to have me by giving her money and making sure she's taken care of. I called her back and she tried to start talking. I don't remember exactly what I said because I was so angry, but I basically told her to shut the fuck up and let me talk, but with more swearing and yelling. I'm usually pretty calm and would never swear at my mum. I would never even swear near her. And I know I shouldn't have said that, but I wasn't thinking straight. I told her she better find another place to live or pay her rent herself because she wasn't getting another dime from me. I turned my phone off after that because I didn't want to deal with any more calls or texts. I eventually needed to use my phone, so I turned it back on and just blocked her number. I saw I had some calls/messages from her, but I didn't want to look at them. This morning I got a call from the front desk at my building, telling me that my mum had tried to get up to my room, but I had already told the elevator staff/security to take her off my guest list. Apparently she caused quite the fuss when they wouldn't let her up. She's blocked on my phone now, so I haven't heard from her today yet. I expect her to blow up on me again for what happened this morning. I think she's probably in denial and thinks that I will cave and pay for her new place. I'm worried about what she's going to do when the deadline for her to pay for a new place comes up and I refuse to give her any money. The move-in date is pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure she has to pay it pretty soon. I'm actually surprised she hasn't had to pay already. So that's going to cause a massive shitstorm. I'm really worried about what she's going to do. Thanks again for all the advice. OP's next update come from r/personal finance and said worried my mum might try to use my personal info for financial gain. What can I do to prevent this? I very recently decided to cut my mother off completely. She'd made plans to move into a new apartment, assuming that I would be paying for it. A little less than a year ago, I decided to move to a bigger place after my lease ended. This was right around the time my mother was moving to San Francisco. She really liked my old place and suggested that she should just move in. My landlord wanted to increase the rent after my lease was up, but she agreed to keep it the same if I prepaid for a year. The plan was for my mum to pay me rent monthly. Well, that never ended up happening, and now my mum just assumes that I will be paying her rent. She made plans to move into a nicer place and sent me an email saying that she needed a check for $8,500 to cover the move-in cost. Some things came up that week involving my sister and my mother, and I've decided to completely cut her off. No rent money and no money for anything else. She is furious, of course, and has really gone off the deep end. I'm worried that once she realizes that I'm not going to give in, that she might try to use my personal info in order to get a loan out or get money somehow. I've also been told that California has some sort of laws that might mean she can take me to court and force me to continue paying her rent. I was wondering if this was true and what would qualify her for this. Thanks in advance. Then OP received a bunch of advice about locking credit, informing the landlord, hiring a lawyer, and check for liability under any other laws, etc. And someone also said, don't worry about California. Its filial piety laws are currently undermined by another section that says no relatives are to be forced to pay for an elder's care by the state. Section 4400 is still on the books, but is currently being undermined by California Welfare and Institutions Code 12350. I got a clue about all that, but that took a massive turn after that first post, didn't it? Holy moly, mum just went crazy. She went and took "but family" and 10 times it. Holy shit. You're now successful, so we're all going to live off you for the rest of our lives. Holy moly. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's have another story. And our next story comes from standmixerthrowaway, who says, am I the a-hole for giving away an expensive KitchenAid stand mixer my dad got me for my birthday that I thought looked extremely ugly? Background: for my 24th birthday, my dad got me a grey metal KitchenAid stand mixer for my apartment. It was about $700, I think. However, I did not ask for this, and honestly I freaking hate the colour, as it does not match anything in my place and is also too big. I gave it to my friend who liked it and was moving to a different state. My boyfriend then got me a cute black stand mixer that fits into my current apartment a lot better, so that's what I have. My dad was over last night and he noticed that the grey stand mixer was gone and replaced by the black one. He asked where it was and I told him the truth. Namely that I thought the grey one was ugly, so I gave it to my friend and my boyfriend got me the black one instead. My dad was shocked and said the grey stand mixer had cost a lot and that he thought I would have liked it. That's why he gave it to me as a present. Maybe here's where I'm the arsehole. I said if he would have been more observant, he would have known that I absolutely hate the colour grey. It's my least favourite colour, and everyone in my life who knows me knows that. I honestly wasn't trying to be rude, I was just stating a fact, but my mum called me today and told me I really hurt my dad and need to apologise for throwing away a thoughtful birthday gift my dad had put a lot of money and thought into. I don't think that's necessary. I think after my dad gave me the stand mixer, it became mine and I could do anything with it. And I didn't throw it away. I gave it to a friend. So, am I the a-hole? Was it me who felt a little bit of resentment in those comments of some sort, saying, I absolutely hate the colour grey, it's my least favourite colour, and everyone in my life who knows me sort of would know that? I don't know, that might be a reaching comment from me, but there was a very, very simple solution to this. Not give the bloody $700 mixer away. You just ask your dad, is it possible to exchange this for another colour? Come at it from sort of his point of view, and you bought him a birthday gift and he went, nah, I'm going to give that to someone else. Don't like that colour. How would you feel about that? Holy shit. But not mapped out says you're the a-hole in quotes. If he would have been more observant, he would have known that I absolutely hate the colour grey. It's my least favourite colour, and everyone in my life knows me, knows that, and says, this is one of those instances where it's time to come back down to earth. Because at age 24, expecting people in your life to know your least favourite colour is absolutely bizarre, and saying it's because he isn't observant is wildly mean. Did you even thank him for the $700 gift? I didn't even think about that actually, yeah. I don't know many people's least favourite colours. Who you be ghosting says you're the a-hole. That mixer comes in like 15 different colours. I'm sure your dad would have exchanged it for a colour you like, including black, if you had used your words. I bought my 20-year-old 2 pieces of, oh my word, Le Creuset for her first apartment. One piece she loved the color and the style, the other she liked the color but not the style. So you know what she did? She used her voice, told me she didn't know how much she would use that piece, and we got something different. Simple, huh? No misunderstanding, no hurt feelings. I'd be embarrassed if you were my kid. It's not the fact that it's a gift and my choice. This isn't a Walmart gift card. You chose not to communicate and hurt your dad's feelings. Betty won't make any thoughtful gestures again. I would like a vacation says you're the a-hole. He got you a very thoughtful and expensive gift and you just gave it away because it doesn't match your stuff. Okay. Could you maybe have told him up front you wouldn't use it so he could get his money back? I can understand you didn't want to hurt his feelings in doing that. So let's just skip past that part. Down the line when he asks you about it, you lash out at him and make him feel like he doesn't know you or care enough to learn what you really like, and basically anyone else would have known that you would hate that gift after you got such a generous gift. Really? What a spoiled brat. And the comments were just pouring in with you're the a-holes, but OP does edit the post and says, okay, so clearly I'm the arsehole. I'll apologize to my dad. I didn't think it was such a big deal, but clearly I'm wrong. To explain some things. I didn't say the observant comment to hurt him. He kept saying he picked out grey because it matches everything, which it does not, so that's why I elaborated on me hating grey. 2. Literally everyone I'm close with, except my dad I guess, knows I hate grey. It's almost a running joke at this point. 3. My friend is really into cooking/baking and I wanted to give her a moving away gift. She's not some rando person I gave it to. Now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What would you guys do in that situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today. Getting involved in the stories, your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't